right, let's continue working with polynomial functions. This time we're going to talk about polynomial functions with repeated roots. So in this section, what we're going to do some graphing, then we're going to analyze the x-intercepts, and with the functions that have repeated roots, there is a specific characteristics that you can see on their graph. All right, first thing, let's look at this example right here. F of x equals 2x minus 1 all squared, x plus 2, x minus 3. That's a function, polynomial function. Notice that I already put these in factor form. So that's a factor there, factor there. So we don't need to go through factor theorem or integral zero theorem or rational root theorem. So we know that we can come up with all the roots in here. But what I want you to pay attention to is that when you expand this, as in making sure that you can see all factors, this power of 2 exponent 2, that represents that there are 2x minus 1 in there. Okay, so I want to write that in the expanded form so that you can see all the factors. And now we can go ahead and say what are the roots. And the roots are basically, you're setting f of x equal to 0 and you solve for each one of these, and it turns out that it's basically the zero product rule. So x equals to 1, x equals to 1 again. Next one would be x equals to -2. And the last root will be x equals to 3. Great. We have 4 roots. And it makes sense because this is a quartic function. The power up here is 1, it's 1, so this is a quartic function, so it turns out that it should have a maximum 4 zeros, and it does have 4 zeros. All right, now let's look at the graph of this and look at what's happening when you have 2 zeros or 2 roots that are the same. What kind of a graph you get when that happens. Okay, so what I have done, I have typed in the polynomial function. It's in red, it's right there, and you notice that it goes through. So the end behavior of the graph, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, you notice that you have 1, 2, 3 zeros. That means x-intercepts. But notice that the first, when x equals to -2, that's x-intercept, the graph goes through the x-axis, and so as when it's 3, but not when it's 1. When it's at 1, it touches the x-axis and bounces off and goes down again. Now we don't know the specific minimum or maximum value of the function. In this case, minimum value, which is down here. We don't know that. We won't know the exact way of doing it at this time. But what we do know is that we know we can come up with the y-intercept. You set x equal to 0, y-intercept of -6. But what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the x-intercepts. Why do we have 3 even though we talked about the fact that there were 2 equal roots, x minus 1. So if I go back to right here, the notes, there are 2 of them. There are x equals to 1. So what is happening is that based on this, these 2 represent 2 equal roots, and they are repeated. So even though it's actually, there are 2 in there, but the graph will only show 1. But the way it shows that it's double, or the power of 2 in this case, is that it touches the x-axis, does not cross it, but bounces off And every time you have the multiplicity or the repeated zeros like that, only with the even number, so power of 2, power of 4, power of 6, you will get a situation where the graph touches the x-axis and bounces off. Now, if it is odd, let's see what happens after the second example. But I want to compare this to the new graph where we have actually 4. So look at this new function. I have 4 distinct x-intercepts. So if I engage the new graph, notice that we should have 4 x-intercepts, and we do. Look, we do have 4 x-intercepts right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So when you have a singleton, or basically an odd, and I'm going to give you another example with the odd number of repetitive x-intercepts, the graph goes through the x-axis. Okay, so it doesn't bounce off, but it goes through it. So between the two graphs, one bounces off the red graph, the other one goes through, because there are 4 distinct x-intercepts. So make a note, when you have 2 equal roots or even number of repeated roots, okay, so this is 2, but I could have said even number of repeated roots, then what you will get is the graph touches the x-axis and bounces off and never crosses it. Okay, just remember that. So look at this very simple example where you have x minus 1 all cubed. Let's find out the x-intercepts in here, get the x-intercept. Now if I do the expanded form, I get x minus 1 3 times. And they all give me, using the zero product rule, give me x equal to 1. They're all the same, right? So not that you have 3 different x-intercepts, you have 3 equal x-intercepts, but on the graph it shows only at 1. So let's go to the graph and see what happens. So here is the graph of y equals x minus 1 all cubed. Notice that it's just a typical cubic function and behavior, quadrant 1, quadrant 3, but look, it has 1 0, 1 point of 1 intersection or x-intercept, but it turns out that there are 3 of them in there. Okay, now yes, this point right here, that's your y-intercept. That's when x equal to 0, you plug 0 back into the original equation and find that. But in terms of the x-intercepts, you only have 1, even though there are 3 equal. So it turns out that if you have an odd number of repeated x-intercepts, it goes through that point, that x-intercepts. It does not bounce off, it goes through it. And sometimes you need to kind of pay attention to the graphs, and that's it. Okay, so and this is the write-up. If you have 3 equal roots and 3 is the key number, the graph passes through x equals to 1. It doesn't bounce off. So the final point is when you have an odd number of equal roots, okay, repeated roots, then the graph passes through the root. So in case of an even number of repeated roots, which is up here, we talked about, what you will get is that. All right, that's what you will get. Graph touches the x-axis and bounces off. All right, so that's the difference between the even number of repeated roots and odd number of repeated roots.